Folks, why is this woman here constantly under attack? This is Marilyn Mosby. She is the prosecutor in Baltimore who chose to charge 6 cops in the death of Freddie Gray. Yet she is under constant attack for actually doing her job. Last night on the O'Reilly Factor, former Maryland Governor Bob Ehrlich said this, that Baltimore police officers are scared to do their jobs because of Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby. This is the quote: "Arrests are down. They'll answer a 911 call. But when it comes to real policing, they are very fearful that State's Attorney does not have their back." And to the large extent, the same goes for the police commissioner. The police commissioner, of course, is Anthony Batts. I want to talk about this with our panel: Cleo Monago, behavioral health expert, former Florida Lieutenant Governor Jennifer Carroll, Dr. Wilmer Leon, host of Inside the Issues on Sirius XM, and Avis Jones DeWeaver with the Exceptional Leadership Institute for Women. Folks, this has been a constant attack. In fact, we tried to actually find the video. They took the video down off the website. I don't understand why. But what's crazy to me is she is the state's attorney. Her job is to prosecute folks when she sees a crime, whether or not that person is a cop or not a cop. But all of a sudden, because she chose to prosecute 6 cops, all hell is breaking loose, and the entire police department is, in a sense, shutting itself down, slowing down, and people like former Governor Bob Ehrlich are giving them cover by somehow saying that even they are above the law.
This goes right to the them versus us mentality, which to a great degree has caused this whole problem in the first place. Marilyn Mosby is doing her job, but there has been this closed rank, this occupier versus occupied mentality. Bob Ehrlich being a Republican, Mosby being a Democrat. You've got politics involved in this. You've got the get tough on crime, constant Republican mantra playing into this, and this is the blue flu. And they are really engaged in a public relations campaign, trying their best as a jury is eventually going to have to be seated to create a narrative that a jury, even after seeing the evidence and hearing witnesses, is going to say, well, the police were just doing their job.
Well, but what offends me here is the fact that her job is to prosecute, period. And what Ehrlich is saying and what other people are saying, when Megyn Kelly is running her mouth on Fox News and others, is essentially that cops are above the law. We shouldn't prosecute them. They're just doing their jobs. But nobody's sitting here saying, how did this guy end up with a severed spine and is dead, who's in police custody?
Well, Roland, it would be different if this was an exception. But what we've seen lately, it's become a norm. And because of body cams and because of people taking video, now we have actual footage. In the state of Florida, we've had instances, and of late, where police have taken aggressive action. But because of the cameras that individuals have had, we've been able to see the rest of the story. What needs to occur is to acknowledge that there is a problem, and then to attack that problem, and not to give cover to whether it's law enforcement officers or the persons that are doing the violent crimes, but not to give cover to anyone, but to truly investigate what's going on and to have some civil obedience in our communities across the board, regardless of where you live.
Cleo and Avis, what we're seeing here is we are seeing folks who are sending the signal to other DAs: don't you dare prosecute a cop, because we are going to come after you, we're going to destroy you, and other police departments, it's okay for you guys to do a slowdown, because how dare you try to hold some cops accountable for a man who's dead?
Well, as we know, Mosby did something very unprecedented. In her position, she did not take the cop's side. She took the side of justice and investigation, and that was unprecedented in this country. And I think a lot of these cops who prefer to be racist and get away with it are nervous, and they're creating this fake problem that's making it bigger than it is under her watch, so she can look bad. So this is pretty normal under racism, and what's going on here is that the police departments are not responding like they should do to local crime, and it's resulting in a crime spike, which I know we're going to talk about later. But this is to be expected. I mean, what you just recommended is a good idea. These rational suggestions are always good ideas, but like I always say, racism is not rational.
Avis, this is also why people want special prosecutors, because you have police who are essentially saying, you know what, we're not going to help you in the other cases. We're not going to see them testify. We are so ticked at you, Marilyn Mosby, that you had the audacity to charge one of our brothers. And I keep saying this here. I don't want to hear another cop talk about why people in the streets need to talk to cops about crime when the greatest no snitching policy in America takes place in police departments around this country. They can't say jack about any gang or any neighborhood when cops consistently say, don't you dare snitch, don't you dare talk, and essentially they are essentially threatening the DA.
Yeah.
Do this again, and we're just going to sit here and y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want in Baltimore.
These are strong arm tactics.
Yep.
This is criminal organized crime, basically. I see this as just another form of hostile policing. When you have the concerted, organized effort to say, we are just not going to police, we are going to allow anything to occur, and we're just going to sit by and watch. And as we watch the bodies stack up, we're going to still not do anything.
Yeah, she doesn't have our back.
Yes.
But you know, the
She's not
bottom line
supposed to.
is you have citizens in these communities that pay their taxes.
Yeah.
And the responsibility
And pay their salaries.
The responsibility of government is to have safety and security. And so these citizens' tax dollars, the public's tax dollars, are not being utilized for their salary for them to stay at home and not come and protect their communities.
Let's also look at.
I was just going to say, if they don't want to police, they need to clean out the police department. They don't need to be employed. If they don't want to do their jobs, they need to get a pink slip and have people hired who are actually going to do their job.
Yeah, and I'm quite sure if you put the word out in terms of that we're hiring because folks don't want to do their job, you're probably going to get some applicants.
Hello.
We're not looking at a slowdown by the police officers because of benefits. We're not getting a slowdown from police officers because of a decrease in overtime pay. We're getting a slowdown from police officers because a prosecutor decided to charge 6 cops with murder who, while a man was in their custody, had his neck broken and his voice box crushed.
And what they want is what we're seeing in Cleveland, the fact that here we are more than 170 days since Tamir Rice was killed, and the 2 cops who were involved have yet to be interviewed by the sheriff's department who is leading the investigation, because what they want to do is they want to drag out any time there's a case involving cops. They don't want it moving forward, because what these Baltimore cops are saying is, don't you dare. You will never, ever touch one of ours. And that's one of the reasons why, as we discussed yesterday, Baltimore, how is it that Baltimore has a cap on lawsuits? That's different from the rest of the state of Maryland, because the commissioner in Baltimore doesn't have the power to fire cops. It is because the cops in Baltimore and their unions, what they have been able to do is essentially say, we run this city. And they're trying to essentially threaten Marilyn Mosby, and I don't understand why more media folks are not standing up for her for doing her job, which she is paid to do, and that is prosecute wrongdoing. We come back. We're going to talk about more issues here with our panel. Plus, Ike Turner's daughter speaks out about her father's image as we get ready for tomorrow's Ike Turner Unsung season premiere. Also, actor Dondre Whitfield encourages success with young black men, one conversation at a time, and we'll talk with him and others about that. For latest news, stay up to date and informed at news1.com. It is 9 after the hour. Back on News 1 Now and TV1 in a moment.